there were lots of different breakthroughs in my life. The first one was discovering human design, and then I think coupled with that as well, like I guess my spirit, there's been lots of spiritual awakenings, but when I discovered yoga and really started like tapping into that like more feminine side of me instead of trying to, like go, push and proving myself, actually being like, you know what, I'm okay as I am. Like, so what if I think that I'm a bit weird, and maybe, like trying to cover, like there's these weird parts of ourselves that we're trying to cover up all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
just let it out. Who cares? And it's very freeing and very liberating. And again, it keeps coming back to human design, but that's why I love it so much, because what better thing to learn about but yourself?
Right.
The more we learn about ourselves, the more insights we have. That's an incredible opportunity to go and be the creators of our dreams and our true purpose in this life.
Yeah, I think this is a beautiful opportunity to dig more into the human design. I'll put a few resources down below for anyone who is just completely new to human design and has no idea what this concept is. For you to go figure out the first little inklings and leanings into it. But for you, Abby, in discovering human design, I think, of course, this like self-knowledge is so empowering. And there's a reason why so many of us, like the Myers-Briggs is so big, and then the Enneagram is so big, and of course, astrology. And when I first learned of human design, I loved the way it bridged the gap between like practical reality and spirituality. I think that's something that a lot of us really need and feel the call towards this kind of bigger mystery. But then also it's like, but I'm living life in this reality, and that means something too.
Yeah.
What is it about human design when you first discovered it that enamored you enough to really dive in and learn about yourself through it?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head, actually, in terms of my first aha and realization and why I love it, because it is very much grounded in that practicality and magic. And, for myself, I have a very strong corporate background, but also I have this, beautiful other part of me where I really believe in the power of crystals and tarot, and like I love to celebrate like the pagan festivals over in the UK, like all these like really juicy, like very feminine, divine things that we can go and explore. So you're right, human design, I always say, imagine if Myers-Briggs and astrology became lovers in Ibiza, and because that's where it was birthed. And I love that it was birthed in Ibiza, by the way, because that is a freaking magical island. But they had this love child, and it's called human design. It's like a blueprint of your aura, how you can create success, how you can build relationships based on your birth details. So I really love the practicality of it, because it's very practical. I mean, I used to head up a big learning and development department within corporate. If I'd have known, I had millions in my budget at some point. It was always taken away. The learning and development budget is always taken away.
Sure.
I wanted to spend it really quickly. But if I was back there and had that budget again, and I learned about human design, it would be in the system. It would be part of the culture, because you can practically apply it to leadership, to business. And I go and do workshops within corporate all the time and teach them about human design. So you've got that real practicality, and then you've got the fact that it's like astrology and I Ching, which is a beautiful Chinese teaching around sort of divine powers and gifts, and the tree of life and the chakra system. So it really kind of speaks into that, if there's anything about you that's like, oh, there's something really mystical about this life and I need to explore more, it kind of gives you access to that. For me, it was about the practical application of it to my business. And you said you were going to put some resources down at the bottom. You can go on to it's free to access. my website, abigailrebecca.com, if you go on there and you click on the link that says look at your free chart, we can put that link down.
Yes, absolutely.
But it was the way that I was able to practically apply it to my business. And when I found out I was a projector, and like this whole like you're not designed to work hard and you need to wait for the invitation, that for me was such a shock, and I refused to believe it. And I was like, no, that's not me. And what do you mean I need to wait around for an invitation? I'm running a business here, I can't be waiting around. But actually, when I started to experiment with it and apply it, I started to see that things were showing up differently in my life. So it doesn't put you in a box, it gives you access to ways of doing things. And I always think, that when you are stuck, when you're trying hard, and nothing seems to be working, why not try doing something a completely different way? How about completely flipping things on its head? How about me as a projector, instead of working harder, stepping back and going to do a sauna and switching my laptop off for 5 days? How about that? It's like it sounds bonkers, but actually it works, because for me, with my specific human design, everyone's completely different, but for me, that then creates more opportunities in my life when I'm not trying to hustle and work hard. So the proof is always in the pudding. So for me, it really helped me to do that. And then with it also helped me as a coach, as a mentor, because I've always worked with visibility. How can I make you more visible within your business so you've got more reach, so you see more as an expert? You can stand in your thought leadership, you can speak on stages, you can be invited onto podcasts, you can create success, get more clients. I can't teach you my strategy, because the way that I do things is going to be completely different to how you do things. So how about if we had a bespoke roadmap that is only applicable to us and us only, that really helps us to create success, instead of trying to like piggyback on other people's methods where they found success. And that's what I love about it. It really helped me to be able to help my clients. And when I'm in service to others and I can help others, especially women, that's when I feel successful. So it's really helped my work as well.
Yeah, no, that's so beautiful. And I love what you said about it being bespoke, right? There is so much out there about, I'll sell you my success plan, or my 10 secrets to success, and my unique formula that will crack the code for you. And we're all so unique and individual. It's so much more about discovering your own formula that's going to work for you. And I think that that's just right on the money, what you said about, I couldn't tell you how I do things and it worked for you, because it's for Abigail Rebecca, right? It's not for Reese, and vice versa. And being able to, I think, honor your own identity and special blend of magic to be able to help other people honor their special and unique stuff is just like that's the stuff, right? Like how juicy and beautiful of a gift that is. When people first dive into human design, of course, for anyone who's just a smidgen familiar with it, they'll know the basic personalities and then the number set that we kind of get. What do you always recommend people pay attention to first for kind of dipping their toes into the water of trying to learn about themselves through this?
I say always start with your strategy. That's the most important thing. If you were just to take that from human design and leave everything else, because it is a major rabbit hole, FYI. If you were just to play with your strategy, so the strategy for manifesting generators and generators is wait to respond. The strategy for projectors is wait to be invited. The strategy for manifestors is to inform. And the strategy for beautiful reflectors, who are only 1% of the population, is actually to wait a full moon cycle, which sounds absolutely bonkers because it's 28.5 days. And I get it. And it's not for like deciding what you want for dinner, it's more like major life decisions. But if you're only going to practice that and see what shows up for you, my biggest gift, I feel, is when I do a human design reading with someone, for example, and just the penny starts to drop. Like, it's like, oh my goodness, okay, I can understand why that's not been working for me. And then I catch up with them a few months later after they've been in the experimentation, and they can share with me all the things that have come into fruition just by following that one simple step. I mentioned before, I just gone to a networking event. I really don't like networking events. I don't like them. But it was just, I just thought, I'm just going to go, and it's a beautiful venue, and I knew some people that were going. So I was like, I just need to go. Before I discovered human design, I would have gone in and I would have been the loudest person in the room. I'd have been the person to speak the first time. I'd have been going up to everyone and going, hello, I'm Abigail Rebecca. What do you do? And like completely like not being my authentic self, like trying, pushing. You know what? Now I know that that's not going to be in alignment to myself. So the way that I go and get the opportunities is to go in there and just wait to be invited into a conversation. Now, for someone who was very, very outgoing in the past, or had that illusion of being outgoing,
Mm-hmm.
that's a difficult thing for me to learn to do, because it's like, well, what if everybody thinks I'm a bit quiet and I'm not, like I'm a bit shy? I wouldn't want anyone to think that I'm shy, heaven forbid.
Right.
And just really deconditioning from all of that and just going, you know what, I walk into a room, not everyone's going to notice me, and that's okay. The ones that will really value me will invite me into a conversation, and in that conversation they will listen to me, and they will
Mm,
value, as opposed to me trying to be rah 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 in the room. And that for me has been the biggest breakthrough, and that's totally the biggest breakthrough for anyone that I've shared human design with. And then, of course, if they want to come and do some more work around it and how to practically then apply that to all different aspects of their business, they can come and do some more work with me. But for me, that's a really big breakthrough.
absolutely. Well, and I think even just the word wait is so taboo in our society, right? Like, for anyone that wants to make something happen or change the world or has this huge vision, this idea of waiting is like, but I need to be throwing my business card at anyone who will take it. I need to be starting all of these conversations, and I need to be making sure that everyone sees my face and being the biggest personality in the room, right? But I think the that magic piece of what you're saying is, but who's going to really hear you and really listen and see your thing, your spark, and making that work for you, I think is so beautiful.